Women in East and Southern Africa do 3 to 4 times more unpaid care and domestic work than men and their male counterparts. This means that women have an inherent time poverty and are not able to engage in other activities such as economic activities, taking on leadership positions, taking on educational roles, and also their own leisure and personal development. And so this has implication on the women's development overall, but also their potential to become active members of society and to achieve SDG 5 on gender equality. So this is a core component in order to enable women to achieve their full potential for the world to reach SDG 5 and also the other SDGs. The issues that we see is that women tend to bear the biggest load of the unpaid care and domestic work responsibilities in the household. We do believe that the household is the primary and the best vehicle for providing the unpaid care and domestic work, and particularly the care that is needed. All of us need care in our lives. For me to be standing here, there is somebody who's providing care for me to have even the clean clothes that I need to have to be here. To be able to take on professional lives and other things. All of us have care needs. And the household remains the most important and the best way to provide this. However, when there is only 1 or 2 members of that household providing all the care needs, there is a disproportionate distribution of how those care needs are being provided, and that has implications on those members that are providing it. So currently, the way the care systems are set up, there is a lack of justice. It's an unjust system. And what we would like to see is a more equal distribution between the members of the households, but also between the households and government, between households and private sector, and between households and society more broadly, so that the household is able to be strengthened in terms of by reducing the burdens that they have on the unpaid care work, but also then redistributing and supporting the households to be stronger in this way. For East and Southern Africa, the care agenda is one of the agendas that's been talked about the least. In other regions in the world, you see that there's a lot more action around this, but our region hasn't seen a lot of this dialogue happening. So the first step, which is what we were doing here in this knowledge share fair on the care, on advancing the agenda for care, is to bring together the stakeholders so that we can understand what are the needs for our region. It may be that we would like universal access to early child care for children between the ages of the end of maternity leave to the beginning of compulsory education, so looking at the ages of about 6 months to 3 or 4 years. It may also be an emphasis on water, access to water infrastructure and access to water within households in rural areas, so that the time burden that women have in fetching water is reduced. But it also could be other things, looking at more efficient cooking stoves that reduces the time for women to go out and fetch firewood, and several other aspects of this, that looking at the priorities for our region and to contextualize the global care agenda into what is relevant for East and Southern Africa. One of the key aspects that we are beginning to see more and more in terms of the care economy is that it also, aside from having so many other benefits, it also has a benefit to increase women's labor force participation and women's active engagement in the economy. If governments are able to provide services and a framework to engage women and to reduce their unpaid care work burdens, we have seen the evidence that shows that there would be more women in the working formally, but there would also be more implications around the GDP, economic growth, economic development for the country overall, but also then in the household and having better relations within the household.